Cool.
Yeah, so welcome. Johnny has had the vision to do 40 days before Global Vision Conference 10 to do the 40 days of a vision hour. And every day we have somebody on, a guest. Thank you for joining us today. You're the guest of honor here to talk and share vision with the world. So welcome. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Rick. Glad to be here. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Johnny, just so you know, chime in anytime. Right now your camera's off. I don't know if that's by
Oh,
design. There we go.
is
The
it
Vision
on?
Man himself.
Ryan, um, I have to tell you what happened. So we're recording this, and part of it is just keeping a record. And so in the beginning of this today, I want to just keep a record. I'm speaking a little lower because I'm not in the studio. I'm in Panera Bread. Yari is at his market. But right after I spoke to you earlier, Ryan, a woman who we had. Let me give you an update. Yesterday, Yari and I had miracles all day after the show, and we then Yari took me out to dinner at Bonefish Grill, and the waitress was listening to the call. Ray, we were on the board of directors call for JFC for you, and Camille and her team were telling about the girls in Jamaica and in Nigeria and everything. It was magic. And while we're eating, having dinner, it's playing, and people are crying. It was really beautiful. Correct, Ryan?
Oh yeah.
Right? It was powerful. And the beauty is that Camille's heart has been duplicated. You know, we've been with Camille and Albert since the beginning, and to see her heart in the hearts of these other women was just so powerful. And the waitress is coming by and like, wow, and this is what is it? And Yari, oh, and you published Yari's book, and there's just a magic because yesterday's production was difficult, Ray. We know, you and I know that, but here at the end of the day at 8:30, the server, they don't like being called waitresses, the server was so inspired. She sat down and she knows Yari, and we're talking, and it was just magic. And you, Ryan, coming on screen and supporting Camille, and then my battery went out, so I missed the last 10 minutes. So today, I sit down and I'm sitting up here at Panera. Yari is out at his market, and we're here in Naples, Florida, and I'm here, and I'm setting up this. I had just got off the phone with you, Ryan. You and I had just talked about. I wanted to know how you got this picture so beautiful for your Facebook, and you explained to me and everything your photography, and I think you have an incredible eye. And so I'm sitting here, and this woman comes by, and she goes, "Oh, hi, great to see you again." Now I can't see, and yet I could feel a great presence. And I saw her hand in front of me raised. Yes, oh yeah, remember dinner last night? At Bonefish Grill. Yeah, and she goes, yeah, wasn't that great? And the vision and the children in Africa and artists and the creative force in Yari's book. And she goes, my daughter's creative. I go, really? Yeah, she's only 18, but she's really creative. What does she do? Well, photography and painting, and she takes out her camera. This is right here live an hour ago. Takes out her camera and she starts showing me her daughter's paintings. They're incredible. The paintings are incredible. And she goes, yeah, and one is at her art school. She just graduated from high school, and but she's very, very shy and awkward. Shy and awkward. I go, oh, we help people that are shy. And Yari had never shared his poetry public. Now he's globally on the stage. So she goes, really? Wow. Then her daughter walks in. Neo is her name. She walks in, sits, you have to meet John. And she sits down right here. I go, he knows lots of artists. I go, I love your work here, Neo. And now she's shy. And then she begins to come out of it. And it is so beautiful. And she begins to share. Oh, since I was little, I would draw and keep needing more paper, more paper. I say, look at this. And I pointed out one of the pieces in her paper was very unique. The hair on one of the images that she painted was unique and different from the hair. You see, yeah, I wanted to contrast that. And then I have another one I want to show you. So now this 18-year-old shy girl is coming out and she shares another of her paintings on her phone. And her mom goes, wait, no, you can see it better on my phone. No, Johnny, you can see it better on my phone. That has a crack in it. So we're here in Panera Bread. Yari's out at his market. And it's a sacred moment, a mother and a daughter and the vision guy looking at her art again. You have to share this at the Global Vision Conference. She goes, where do you buy tickets? Global Vision Conference. Just Google it. We're coming. You'll be on stage with Yari. 2 years ago, he never even shared it. And we have a show at noon. And so, and she says, yeah, and I told it all started with you, Ryan. So then I said, look at this picture. And I pulled up your blue picture, Ryan, on Facebook, which is just so beautiful. I got to show it to Ray. You got all these comments of people about you. So this picture, I don't know if you guys can't see it. Can you see it at all? Does it come up?
Yeah, we see it.
Really?
He looks like
Ray,
an A-list celebrity.
right? Doesn't he? Isn't this like incredible? So here, Ryan, this is how God's working. I pull this up and now I'm showing them your work, right? Your art. And he goes, wow. And I go, you know who took the photograph? They go, who? You know, they're thinking, you know, because I'm this guy now who knows all these arts. I go, Ryan took it. He took it himself. And they go, how did he do it? He's a master photographer. And he did this and we are having a love fest and people are coming around and look who's here. I'm telling them the story about Neo.
Hey,
I'm
Yari.
telling them the story. What
Hey,
is her
guys.
name? The
What's
mother's
up, Yari?
name?
What's going on, Rebecca?
Rebecca. I'm telling them about Rebecca is the mother's name. I'm telling them about Rebecca
Yes.
and Neo, the daughter, right
Awesome.
here today.
Amazing. Yeah. Great to be with you guys. Wanted to pop in, say hello. Ryan, wishing you a great speech, great share. And Ray, good to see you. Who
He's
else?
already inspired.
Oh, he is.
Odell is on as well.
Who is?
Odell.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not the owner anymore. I'm just Odell.
I was gonna say you
Great-
fixed it, Odell.
great
It's
to
the
see
owner. You are
Good to
Odell.
see you guys. Amazing. All right. It's a blessing.
And
Good to see you,
Dr.
Yari.
Yellen and Dr.
Hey,
Yellen,
buddy.
it was on just when I was on the phone. That was Dr. Yellen is sending love. So we have a love, but here we are,
Awesome.
Panera Bread,
I know.
in our own studio. Incredible.
Awesome, guys. Awesome.
Incredible.
Stay safe this weekend.
He doesn't know they're coming to the conference.
Yes,
They're buying tickets
yes,
and they're coming
yes,
to the conference.
yes. I think that's the greatest thing I think we can do is sow seed into other people. I've been doing that over the past month, and it's produced such amazing fruit. Jason just called me. There's another brother that's totally activated and part of it, and he's been even praying with us in the morning. And he's just on a altogether different dimension. So
And I'm keeping him one more second. Ray Hannah, who was on yesterday, she bought her ticket, Ray.
plane
She's
ticket.
flying in.
Yes.
She bought her plane ticket. She's flying in from Oregon.
Yeah, across
And
the
she's going to
country.
show her art.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So it's-
Amazing.
This is a movement.
Yeah.
And this is only day 4.
So she's been going through a lot, and we held her and loved her, and she's coming. She's excited. Ryan, how are your girls? How are the
They're do-
girls?
They're doing good, brother. They're
Come on.
growing like weeds, man.
Wow. I remember them playing on the slide, especially Riza when she was like a little warrior, man, climbing those slides. She couldn't get up there, but she did.
Yeah,
up
that
and
girl's
down.
fearless.
And then she hurt her finger a little bit, and then we kind of like
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I
we
recall you
kissed on
you
it, we
doctored her
grew
up a
on
little
it,
bit. Yeah.
and she like forgot, like it hurt, and she just went right back into the slide with Camille. So we were on your Zoom yesterday too. So anyway, guys, don't I just wanted to tell I love you all, and I'm grateful to be with you. And have a great session. I'm gonna go back to work now.
Things
All
are
right, love you,
popping.
brother. Good to
All
see you.
right, thanks, guys. Good to be
Thanks,
with
Shari.
you.
Kurt's been trying to call. Tell him
Great.
I'm on the Zoom.
And Odell, I look forward to meeting you
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
soon.
From Israel.
Oh, even better. Thanks, guys. Take care. Have
All
fun.
right. So that's the pre of the show, that you see that things are happening and things are popping, and Tim sends his regards also. Ray, after yesterday, he was really just down in the dumps, and he's just was soaring this morning when I talked to him. So before any further ado, now let's get to our guest, who looks his production is so incredible. We have to learn from him, Ray, how to get this production right. But when I met Ryan the first time, Ray, it was in West Palm Beach.
Okay.
And I'm going to lead with this. Although there was so much happening that day, and the lights, we had so many lights on us and filming, what you can sense about Ryan was his servant heart, right? You can sense his servant heart, and the love of his daughters filled the room. This is a movement, movies and popcorn for children around the world. And his daughters were in the room, and he came with a servant heart, and he captured the pictures of you and me. There's one of my favorite pictures of you, me, and Albert there at the studio at the desk, the vision desk. That picture, Ryan captured that, and all these pictures of children came with a servant's heart, and he empowers individuals with his coaching, his high performance. But what I like you to start off with, Ryan, is what is a servant's heart, and why do you want to bring that to the world? And then Ray, I'm going to let you take the interview.
Sure.
All right. Well, I want to start with something Yari just said. He used a word that I absolutely love, and that's activate. It's one thing to inspire people, but once you're activated, you're on, right? I love turning people on. One of the things I'm most grateful for than anything, other than the experience just to be here, but for the leaders in my life and the people around me who saw things inside of me that I couldn't see in myself, or I lacked the courage to bring them to the surface and stand in my power and shine my light. I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for the people around me who saw my potential and who took the time and the effort and the energy and allocated it to me to activate me so that I could activate others. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Everybody's got something inside of them that they're going to give back to the world to elevate everybody. But you've got to get activated. So everywhere I go, everything I do, I find a way to implement myself in the world around me. I pay attention to how things are unfolding, why things might be unfolding the way that they are. And I go, Ryan, how can we activate somebody in this room now so that when you leave and you don't come back, this room, this place, this culture has been activated. That's what I live for. That the sparkle in somebody else's eye, watching the story you just told about that 18-year-old girl. What'd you say her name was? Rebecca?
Neo. Well, Rebecca's her mom.
Okay.
Neo is the girl.
Johnny, what you did for that girl, the space you created, the opportunity that you provided, that's going to change that girl's life. I read a book. It's called The Immortality of Influence, written by a guy named Salome Thomas L. And he's got this saying. He goes, every single child deserves to have somebody that's absolutely crazy about them. Because the only thing stopping a child from developing the way that they should is somebody that cares and believes in them. And man, we can change the world when we just show up and lead from our heart. and go, how can I make a difference with the time that I have in the place that I am right now so that it's better when I leave? And that's what I live for.
Well said, brother. Well said. You've touched on so much there, and it's a powerful message, and it's servant leadership, right? Because each person has capabilities and strengths that maybe he or she can't see. We can't experience our potential until it's realized, and the courage comes after conquering fear. And sometimes it takes someone like yourself, Ryan, to see the potential in others so they can have the confidence themselves to have that. So well stated. I love talking to you, Ryan, because when I talk to you, it's like all your words, every single word resonates with me and probably everyone who's listening in. And it's such a powerful message that you have. So keep doing your work. I mean, it's going to, you are helping people, or you're going to help so many more people. Guarantee it. Let me ask you a question. So around the hour of vision is about vision. And so it seems like you have a lot of balls in the air, a lot of things going on, and you should, because your potential is exponential. What is your vision? What are you focusing on right now?
Building my business. So I've
Okay.
recently launched my business, Culture Makers, did some rebranding. It was the Social Ambassadors Club, but my big focus right now is bringing personal, professional, and leadership development to the workplace in such a fashion that you not only impact the people that you serve within the workplace, but you provide them an opportunity to grow into their potential so that they can take the leadership you provided in the workplace home with them. So they can be a better father, better brother, sister, mother, aunt. Like we've got a lot of problems in the world, and they can all be solved by solving them first within the home. But you see, the problem is we don't have the leadership that's trickling into the home front to make that change from the inside out. So if we can develop the leaders who can lead and guide their people into greatness, those people can go home and do the same things for their families. That's what it's all about. Like when I spent 8 years in the United States Army, and they tell you from day one, like when you focus on being a good soldier, you'll be a better father. You'll be a better brother. Live by these values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. Live by this. Embody these. So I'm just doing my best to bring the essence of my life experience into the experience of others so that they can tap into what I'm tapped into.
All right. I love that. Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this. It seems you're on the right journey. Was there a process that you went through of discovery to kind of get here and know, you're the captain of your ship, and which way are you going to set the sails and move in any direction? Like, how did you get to that point where you knew, or what was that process like to get to here?
Hard and humbling.
Okay.
When I look out into the world and I think about what's possible for me now, like literally, I think I can do anything. I know for a fact, like the world's coming to me because of what I'm doing. But I didn't always feel that way. Like just a quick backstory. Like I came from nothing. I grew up in a town with 400 people. 400 people. That's where I grew up, right? I had a very dangerous childhood. I went through a lot of trauma. Like nothing was ever supposed to be good for me. Like I'll be completely transparent here. Like I've shared some of my story, but I shared this, and I was hesitant to share it. I didn't always have the courage to share this part of my story, but I realized if I don't share this part of my story, there's people out there who can relate to this, and I'm not giving them the opportunity to have the best experience in my presence if I'm not sharing with you what I went through, that I had to get through, that led me to where I am today. I dealt with sadistic parents. I was sexually and physically abused my entire childhood. Like it was bad, right? But back to what I said when I first started speaking, I had people around me, I had teachers, I had leaders who could see something inside of me. They were like, man, I don't know what this kid's going through, but he's going through something, and I need to be that leader in his life. Even when I want to share this real quick, when I got out of the Army, even I didn't have the courage that I have now. And there's one thing in particular that really had to reframe something in my mind that allowed me to step into anything that scared me. And you mentioned courage and fear earlier. And I spoke about this at the last Vision Conference. One thing the Army doesn't teach you is confidence. They don't need to. But what they teach you is personal courage, because they say you're going to be scared. You're going to have to do things you don't want to do. And other people are relying on you to stay alive. So rely on your courage, not your confidence, because confidence isn't what we use around here to get through the day, right? So once I realized that if I was afraid because of a lack of confidence, I could tap into my courage. And then when I started to tap into my courage, I would build my competency. And then when I would build my competency, my confidence would raise. So I was like, wow, I figured it out. If I'm scared, do it anyways. And as hard as that sounds, and as easy and as simple as and as cliche as it sounds, like just get into action. Like you said earlier, you don't know what your potential is until you experience it. Like, you've just got to step in. And if you don't believe in yourself, the next best thing is to surround yourself with people who believe in you when you can't believe in yourself. Because you can't not believe in yourself very long if the people around you do. Like, you're gonna tap into something and things are gonna change. You're gonna start to pivot. I think at the end of the day is to remember it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in an instant. I mean, you could have a life-changing epiphany and reframe how you view the world in a split second, sure. But I just want to let people know, like, it's a process. Like, nobody's done growing. Leadership isn't an end game. If I'm alive, I've got room to grow into, and I'm always growing. So it's just put yourself out there, face your fears, and just know that don't worry about what other people say, man. Just go after what's in your heart and everything will come together. It's really simple.
Ryan, I love that sequence, the 3 C's that you mentioned, right? Courage, competence, confidence. It's like A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And it's so emotionally intelligent and intuitive, because a lot of people go out there and they want to take what they have now and just go out, but it's about the competence, right? It's about learning and giving yourself the tools and the knowledge to then, first have the courage, then have the competence and the knowledge, and then comes confidence. It's such a powerful, those 3 words combined is so powerful and inspiring. So I'm going to say, keep doing what you're doing, because, and even for the people who are listening, is that there almost comes a time and a place when you're on your vision of journey, is you have to get ready to be uncomfortable, right? Mm-hmm. You have to leave that comfort zone and love the feeling of being uncomfortable, because that's the arena of personal evolution, right? That's what it takes to step into the realm of success. You also mentioned potential, and having some of your leaders in the past recognize that in you. Now, as you go out and what you're doing now, and you're finding people that you're trying to activate, what words of encouragement do you give them? What are the right questions?
Now, words of encouragement for those folks who are due for some activation? Is that the question?
That's the question. You see somebody, they're going through a hard time, and based on your experiences, you see something, you have an angle that maybe they're not seeing. Maybe the clouds are over them, but that the sunshine is coming. How do you approach that?
The same way I do any of my clients, and it's on a very individual basis. But I think at the end of the day, a lot of the times people forget what they've already been through and how much they've already accomplished. And oftentimes you ask somebody, like, what's another thing that you went through that absolutely destroyed you? And they're like, oh, this, and this. And like, well, how'd you get through that? And you start bringing people back. And it's like, listen, everything you've ever been through, you've made it through. It's not going to change here. You're going to make it through this. And like, sometimes that's where you got to start with people, is just remind them, like, we're going to go through things, but like, look at what you thought then you weren't going to come out of that, but look how it ended up for you. That's the first thing. The second thing is there's got to come a time in your life where you've got to make a decision. You've got to make a commitment. And that decision and commitment is, am I or am I not going to live a life of quiet desperation? Am I or am I not going to go after what it is that is inside of my heart? Every single person wakes up every single day and has an urge to do something. Do it. Investigate, find out what you don't like, what you do like experiment with your life. Like the purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. Figure out what purposeful life you want to live, what feels good for you, and live in that. Because at the end of the day, there's so much as an individual that you're going to bring to the table to serve the people around you when you just step into yourself. Just step into that. And the more scared you are, by God, the better. That means you're heading in the right direction. And that's when you really have to tap into that courage. Because I promise you right now, if you don't put courage first, you'll never have the confidence. Never. Like, I'm scared to death all the time. I love it. You know, you got to learn to love it. But I'm comfortable in it. And it's not like a bad scary. It's just like, wow, like here's more opportunity to grow. Like I get to step into some uncomfortability. And one of the best parts about that is back to my passion for leadership is every time I step into more of what I'm capable of, everybody around me elevates because they go, wow, like I can step into that. I can step into more. Like that's the like, I don't want to call it the purpose, but one of the best parts about focusing on yourself and really growing yourself, you set an example for the people around you of how they could be. I very early on in my life, I heard it. I don't remember where I heard it, but I never forgot it. Ryan, be somebody worth emulating. Walk into a room and the men and the women in that room should go, damn, I want to be more like him. Because I spent my whole life being the person going, damn, I want to be more like him. Like, wow, that's an amazing leader. I'm going to take that part of him and I'm going to eat that and make it a part of me. So just, yeah, that's what I got for that, Ray.
Yeah, no, again, you speak so well and with such knowledge and insight, and I got to say, Ryan, you are living it. I mean, you're a guy that embodies, strength. I know people look at you, you're a strong guy, but with that, you're also humble. And I think the biggest compliment I could ever pay anyone, and I would say this to you, is you're authentic. And authenticity, it can't be bought or borrowed. And you embody that. And you're going to continue doing what you're doing, Ryan. I know everyone on this call, myself, Johnny, Odell, we believe in you. We support you. If there's anything we can do to help you, we're here for you. It looks like you got this. I mean, you're killing it, brother. Keep doing it. But, in the Global Vision community, if there's any resource you need, Johnny's here for you. So keep doing your work.
I'll chime in here with one. Adelia, we have the greatest men in vision, man. We have the greatest men in vision. I'm just so proud of Yari and Ray and Ryan and the team of brotherhood. We're talking about, and me, 4 unique men who just stand for each other. Ray, that was just a magnificent interview. You created a safe space for a very powerful leader to share his heart and his authenticity. And it's inspiring, Ryan, man. You're preaching just by being. Your heart comes through. And, I fell in love with you through your art and through your daughters and the beauty of how well how alive they are and how they make every conference. I mean, they are the Global Vision Conference. They are it. They are they're the only ones that can get away in the middle of a conference and walk up to the stage and say, Johnny Popcorn, Johnny Popcorn. Yes, yes. And I stop everything because I am Johnny Popcorn, whatever they want to call me. so you've done a magnificent, incredible job there. But today, when I posted your video, someone from your background wrote,
Dottie, I saw that.
did you see that?
I did.
Yeah, let me tell them, they wrote something to the effect that I knew Ryan, when he was growing up and he had a hard, difficult life. It inspired me to know here you inspired this person, because my uncles, my family, my neighbors didn't think I was going to make it. They just thought there's no way this kid is going to make it. And so what did that feel like when you saw that today of him writing? My goodness, it's so great. You're getting your vision out to the world.
So that person, her name is Dottie Roan, and she's known me since I was about 8 years old. She met me my summer between 3rd and 4th grade. I just moved into that little town, Hoodsport, population 400. And she was, she worked hand in hand with the youth pastor at our church. And she was always there on all the trips. She always had Pastor Jack driving and Dottie in the passenger seat and all us kids in the back, right? And she was always kind of like the motherly, grandmotherly, person that was always with us when we were at, Sunday school or just out on a youth trip or what have you. And I know she looked at us like, these crazy boys, because we were crazy boys, but she nurtured us. She created the space that needed to be created when she was around us, and she let us be boys. She set a really good example. And I've shared this with her since then, probably last year sometime. And I told her, I said, Dottie, you were a huge part of my childhood. Like, you don't realize how much you've impacted my life and the rest of the boys who used to ride around with you in that church van. Like, I think about my childhood and I think about the most important people to me, the relationships that made me who I am. And Dottie comes up. And when she shares that on my last post, it just feels great, because I know it feels just as good to her as it does to me, because she can sit there and go like, wow, like I got to be, I'm in my purpose. Like she just, we're feeling the same thing. It's a reciprocal emotion, and it's just wonderful. It's wonderful. I love it.
An underdog, Ray, an underdog has made it and is doing it. I love it.
If I would like to say one more thing really quick. When Ray mentioned something,
wait, you don't have to be really quick. You're in a zone, man. You're in a zone. You don't have to be really quick. You methodically keep delivering your heart-centered servant message, brother. You just go ahead.
All right. So Ray mentioned something earlier, and I'm always hesitant to talk about humility, because I'm like, am I being humble when I talk about this? There's always like that tug. But I want to go. Confucius had a saying, and he said, humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. And when I first heard that, I really tried to let that sink in. And like, what does that mean? Right. And if you look up the definition of humility, like, depending on which dictionary, it'll tell you, like, to be in a lowly state, or to kind of know your position or so forth. I forget the exact role, but we use the term humble in a lot of different ways, but to be humble. And at the end of the day, that led me to always going inward with myself before I tried to figure out what was wrong with the world around me. And it's like, okay, Ryan, where do you need to shift? Where do you need to change your perspective, reframe your thoughts, change what you believe? Stop valuing this and start valuing that, something different. It takes, and this is to kind of go back into one of the prior questions, is like, what would you tell somebody who's seeking activation, who's seeking what's next for them? Go inward. Like, whatever's best for you out there, it's going to show up out there when it shows up in here. And you've got to go inward. The best relationship, your relationships with other people aren't going to be any better than the relationship you have with yourself. You've got to learn how to talk to yourself. You got to learn how to communicate with yourself. communication is tantamount to the quality of our lives. Like your quality of life will be equivalent to your ability to communicate with yourself and with others. And it takes absolute humility to tell yourself to shut the hell up, get out of your own damn way, and just go in and be humble. Like that's where you've got to start. Like I have been my own worst enemy. I have been the worst guy in the room. I've been the guy where you're like, shut up, bro. Like I've been the guy. But when I go inward, I'm like, damn, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be a man where when my daughters look at me, it makes it impossible for another man to have any chance with my daughter because they're going to go, do you know who my daddy is?
Bravo, man. Bravo.
Like, so you've got to go in. And when you go in, that will change your life because you will change yourself. If you want things to change, you have to change. And that's the hardest thing to do is make that change. But it's the best decision you'll ever make in your entire life. And that takes absolute, complete humility. And there's no way around that.
Love it, Ryan. Another mic drop. You just keep doing what you're doing. Stay in that lane of vision. Keep serving. Keep helping people. Just be you. You're doing an awesome job.
Thank you, Ray. I'm loving it.
Amen. Anything else, Ray, before I'll close this up here? Because it's just such meat, such power in meat.
Yeah, we're gonna give Odell a little time. Hi, Odell. Oh,
Hi, how are you?
Good,
Hi,
good.
Ryan. Hi, everyone. So it's amazing because I related to every word you just say, Ryan.
every
Thank you
word,
so much.
every word.
And it's exactly my journey. Every single word is my journey, just not the army. But I'm doing what you are doing with writing. And that's what I did when I wrote my first book, You Are Allowed, because I am. And that's what I teach people to write, but not to write how you learn at school, or it's just to look inside and to put whatever you have in your heart on the paper. And it's really pure magic. So thank you. And for me, what I learn and what I say is connected to what you said, is like forgive yourself first, love yourself first, respect yourself first. And that's how we can be better with other people, when we start with ourselves. Yeah, it's amazing. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Odell.
Thank you, Odell.
I want
ahead,
everyone to
Johnny.
write.
That's good, right? My clients, I tell them, if you're not writing while we're working in between sessions, then you're wasting your time and mine. There's a magic that happens when you let source come through you, hit your hand, put it on paper, and then read it and let those thoughts come full circle. And there's a level of attention and intention behind writing. Like it's incredible. Writing will change people's lives. And it's awesome that you're doing
It
that.
changed my life. It changed my life. And I think it's exactly what you just say, just to have that out and also to share that with people. And the act of writing by himself, it's also something amazing. So wow, yeah. So I'm super excited because I'm doing the right thing.
Awesome.
Keep going, Odell. Keep going. Are you going to be with us for the Global Vision Conference on January 20th? Okay.
Of course I am.
Awesome.
Excellent.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Well, what a session. Unbelievable. Ryan, thank you for sharing all that insight. I mean, that was truly amazing. Odell, thank you for joining. Johnny, any last words?
Yes, Ryan, one of the highlights of this year was feeling and being in your humility, because humility is really power. True humility is power, the most powerful people that I know and love are able to be still and be quiet and listen and absorb. And one of the highlights of this year was when Ray and I talked and the team talked that who are the recipients this year of the Vision Gold Medal Award? Who deserves to be recognized with the honor of on the global stage to be awarded the medal that shows you have brought light and love and your vision, your art, your unique contribution to the world. And unanimously, everyone said Ryan Bale. And I'm also proud of Ray, a very powerful, humble man. I called him and we said, you know what, let's tell him the news properly. Let's do it together as the founder of the Global Vision Conference and Johnny's Movies and Popcorn and the CEO of Johnny's Movies and Popcorn. Let's call him, let's work it out. And the schedules were going back and forth. And then we got you on the call, and it was one of the highlights of my life to tell you that on January 20th, I'm going to have the honor of looking you in the eyes with your daughters present and putting a Vision Gold Medal around your neck and recognizing you before the world for bringing your light and your vision to the world. And so I just wanted to tell you that moment of silence when you were speechless, when Ray and I told you, was a magnificent moment of life and power. So thank you for being our guest today. And thank you for bringing your light, your authenticity, your power and your humility to the world. God bless you, brother.
Thank you, Johnny. Love you, brother.
Good seeing everyone. Great session.
Ray.
We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Odell, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.